I couldn't get out of the bed. I was stuck. But I feel very, very, very few times I ever had anyone come to my side. You know, when I got crushed by a steer, and we were bringing some buy and sell cattle in, they weren't raised by us. They weren't our calves, so were all very fucking dangerous to be around. One of the steers was crazy hard to get out of the paddocks, let alone get into the truck. So when the time came, anyone who was standing near the race and the ramp that goes up to a truck, if anyone knows their farming, how you sell a cow. So these steers were getting pretty fucking heavy, and we were told to get out of the way. So me and my little sister hid in that little triangle underneath the race, so we could hear the hooves going up over the top of us, essentially. And we thought that they'd all gotten in. The last one, the crazy one, had gotten up to that point. We heard its hooves going across the top, and then all of a sudden it was quiet. So we thought that he'd gone in. And then me and my little sister come out from underneath that triangle in the ramp, and I get absolutely smacked to the ground because the steer has jumped over the it's either found a gap, exploited the gap, or climbed up over the top and just went hell for leather to get out of and not go into that truck. And it got me, made me land on the ground and essentially run over my spine, knocked me out. And my mum rushed me to the hospital, and I remember sitting there as a little empath going, "If you breathe properly, Mum, you really can stop the pain." She was probably thinking, like, what the fuck? And so anyway, I get there. Sorry, Mum, but because you were gay, you went and started flirting with the nurse because you had a moment of free time. So you went and started chatting up the nurses, and you didn't stay by my side. And I got touched up by the doctor, and I told you about it afterwards, and you brushed it under the rug. You told me, "Oh, that's all right. That's okay." It's like, no, Mum. I don't care if it was the right thing for the doctor to do. You weren't there, number one. But number two, it didn't feel right. It came with intention. He knew you were keeping yourself busy. And the funny thing is, when the work cover thing happened, the first doctor I went to was a doctor in Broadway, and he said, "Oh, you're from Cowra, that's where I did my time. Cowra Base Hospital." And then something chimed. I went, "Oh, you're the doctor who touched my dick." The world's not that small. I mean, the world is pretty fucking small, is what I meant to say. So don't ever leave your children's side when they're at a hospital. I'm not saying this man was a pedo, but it didn't feel right. So it really plays on your mind when you know, when you haven't been able to, I guess what you felt was necessary. As a little soul, it's all for a purpose. But does life have to be that hard? I made it. I made it. I'm here. I don't know if any other little boys who went to Catholic schools when I was in kindergarten at St. Paul's Primary in Camden, we were sent down in groups of 5 to have our penises inspected. What's that about? There was two women in this sort of dungeony office where we were taken down in groups of 5. I don't know if Mum and Dad were privy to that. And what the purpose of it was. Who was it that liked a foreskin? Who was it that liked that didn't like foreskins? What was it about? Why, as Catholics, are we doing what the Jews do? Why? Like there was a pedo at Cowra High who got a job at St. Raphael's, the primary school I went to. Like, this stuff is so prevalent. You know, kids it happens everywhere. You know, I wonder if anyone's ever asked why that was at St. Paul's, and why did the Catholic Church hide known pedophiles and sex offenders in certain extents? Just move them around. We know that's happened. Every time I was in the Catholic Church, I just felt like it was wrong. That the place was just meant for frequency, not Christ consciousness, not Christ. Putting somebody else above yourself. If that man ever walked, it's just about how he walked. It's not about putting him on any other pedestal. It's about emulating that in your own life. Being an example for others. It's nowhere near about a saviour coming to get you. It's north, south, east, west. What's in the middle is a cross. In the north and southern hemisphere, the sun goes down for 3 days and then it rises again. It's just paganism. Getting back to a world where we can actually self-realize and we can use our spiritual gifts without shame, without judgment. It's been really hard to have people to actually share all this with when you've got a lot more going on in your mind than the 3D. I guess that's why people think you're cooked, because they don't know any better.